Well, welcome to our latest Star Sports Derby Zoom room and the final one of this year, because we're just days away from the final itself now. And I'm joined by a fantastic panel, people from all walks of life within the sport. And we'll come to them each individually to get their thoughts on their idea of the winner of the 2022 Greyhound Derby. But first of all, we'll come to you, Lofty, of course. Give us the betting and who you fancy, please.
So Romeo Magico is our favourite 2-1, mainly because of anti-post liabilities, really. 9-4 Kildare, we're 4 Priceless Jet. 9-2 Hello Hammond, we're 12, there's only one, Mickey's Barrett, I've got to sing that now. And 20, the outside of the field, Savannah Bow, there we go. Who do I fancy? I must admit, I think of the ones, I thought Hello Hammond was massively overpriced when they made him 8-1. We've always been a little bit shorter. Just think the race could be run to suit him. We were just chatting before we come on air, weren't we, about the 2 early pace dogs with Magico and Kildare. If they'd have been drawn side by side, maybe the draws worked out slightly better for one of those two to try and get first run. But I can see possibly Hello Hammond turning third, you know, running the bends like he doesn't run, like we've always said before. He does swing off sort of violently and hasn't really got a sat nav, as Ian was saying to us prior to recording this. But I think he could turn third, be a big runner, see him coming home and maybe picking up one of the 2 early paces in either Magico or Kildare. But it's a good final. I think all the draws worked out really well for all the dogs, you know, and made the best dog win on the night. It should be a good spectacle, come what may.
Absolutely. I'm looking at all your faces and wondering where my best chance of an English tip might come. So, Darrell Williams, I'm going to come to you. Any chance?
Yeah. You're not going to get an English selection from me, unfortunately, Julie. It does look as reluctant, perhaps, as we are to say it. It looks like it's there for the Irish, and I'm kind of inclined to agree with Lofty, really, with Hello Hammond. I think the great thing about this derby is this final is they all seem to have the boxes they want. So you look at it statistically, Kildare, Romeo Magico, they've come out best from the boxes they've got. You know, no one can have any excuses, any complaints. But I think even at around about 6-1, 5-6-1, Hello Hammond is just enough. The price is just enough for me to want to go that way. But I think I'd probably play Kildare back to beat Hello Hammond, Romeo Magico back to beat Hello Hammond as well. But Hello Hammond definitely in there. That to me is still the overpriced dog.
Okay, what about you, Paul Lawrence? What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with that, actually. I think that Kildare and Romeo Magico can dispute early doors, but I do feel that Hello Hammond will break better from the middle box. He's done that as well. He's got his all of these, actually. We've said they've got they're probably round about their best boxes. Kildare's broke best from 2, 4-12. Romeo Magico's broke best from 4 in the quarterfinals, 4-13. But Hello Hammond's also got a decent start from box 3 on the 19th of May. He broke with the 4-16 sectional. It's just the way he handles the bend. It will be the traffic around him. I think 3 is a perfect box for Hello Hammond. I think he's got a massive engine. Although, you know, his fastest time is 29:30, I don't think that really tells the story. He's got gears, the dog, and it's just really his kind of bend running. Any slight touch and he seems to sort of make a meal of it. But if he gets it right on the night, I think he'll go very, very close indeed, really close. I think Mickey's Barrett and Price's Jet might have it all to do to clear all the speed. And of course, Savannah Bow hasn't got to clear anything because he'll probably be last, highly likely be last. But if there is any jostling, he'll be thundering home as well. But I think Lofty said earlier on that he couldn't see that how Savannah Bow could back run Hello Hammond, and I agree with him. It's just what Hello Hammond does on the turns, and it's not just the first turn; it's the third as well. He just goes so fast in the straights.
Wow, 3 votes so far for Hello Hammond. I wasn't expecting that. Let's come to Mark Bird of the GBGB. Mark, I know you've been watching closely. What do you fancy for the final?
Well, I have the fact that I'm in the football team and I'm always the last to be picked, especially amongst all this esteemed panel here today who don't know what the punting. Look, I take the romantic view on this. I think actually who stands a good chance is Romeo Magico in terms of winning. But you've got to look at Mickey Barrett's run throughout this whole competition, and also for Savannah Bow, for Kevin Boothby, who's obviously hosting this competition and will be for the next 5 years. So look, I'll always go with the outsiders, having been one myself. So I think for me, any of those three coming in would be great. And I've already asked Jason Gray that when the film's made, who's going to play him.
What did he say?
I couldn't possibly say.
Okay, so come on, give us one selection though, because I'm keeping a tally here of who tips.
Well,
what.
it'll be Romeo to come in first,
which should be great. British bred at least. Joe Conneely, what do you think?
I've got two left anti-post tickets. I think they'll finish first and second. I've got Romeo Magico and Hello Hammond. I think if Romeo Magico turned half a length, quarter of a length behind Kildare, I think he'd be in front of him by the third bend. And I think he'd go on to win. I don't think you back run this dog. And then it's what Hello Hammond does. I can see Mickey's Barrett maybe keeping Hello Hammond in at the bend. He does swing off violently between the first and second bend. I'm hoping Mickey's Barrett can maybe keep him in. And if he does get a clear run at anything, then he's as fast as anything in the race. And Paul was reverting about the time. Paul, they'll take 29.30 on Saturday if they go over the line first and win it. I think the time is completely irrelevant come the weekend. I think they've done 30.50. They'll be happy to win the Derby. It's
that's the point I'm making, though. The times mean nothing with this dog because he's just got such a big engine.
Irrelevant, absolutely irrelevant. And, if you just get scrappy, you've got to look Savannah Bow. Priceless Jet looks well drawn. Kildare has to ping and lead, and then I just think there's too many strong running tights in behind that could reel Kildare in anyway. Even if it's not Magico turning second, I think whatever got a run at Kildare, if he did lead on his own, I think could probably catch him. Hopefully that could be Hello Hammond if it's not Romeo Magico off the front. So I'm going to go with Romeo Magico. I think he's the fastest all-round dog in the race. I think he's got most speed, and I'm going to go with. I think I'll have the forecast to be fair. I think Hello Hammond will be second as well.
And obviously British bred, trained by Brits who just happen to live in Ireland. So we can kind of claim that one, Joe.
Yeah, don't tell Ian that, but yeah, hopefully. And we get on with Dave really well. I know my dad gets on with Dave really well, and they've had a brilliant laugh over the 6 weeks. And just to go back to it, I weren't there Saturday, and you've been there, Julie. It has been unbelievable, this derby, the atmosphere, everything about the place is absolutely buzzing at the minute. It's been fantastic being there for every single round and seeing how busy it was Saturday. My dad said it was hammering down with rain, but it was still heaving busy on Saturday. And it's been fantastic, and I'm sure we'll be in for a brilliant night Saturday as well.
Yes. Yeah, I must admit, but I'm in there. We bet inside most of the night on Saturday because of the weather. But I went outside the car and watched the two semi-finals, and it was just like the old days at Wimbledon. It was busting, it was heaving, and the atmosphere was something else. It's the first time, other than finals night there, it's the first time I felt that atmosphere at Toaster. It was something else there Saturday for the two semi-finals, I must admit.
You feel like racing's back. You feel like ground racing's coming back, and that's exactly what we need.
Fingers crossed. Mick Conneely, obviously general manager now at Toaster, so you are working hard week in, week out, but you had a few anti-post bets as well. Have you got anything left?
I had one. I had Lataria, and it bit the dust on them on Saturday. I wasn't confident, in fairness. I said to Ryan and Joe, if this dog doesn't trap and lead on the first bend, I don't think he'll be winning any derby. I'm not saying he's not a very fast dog. Of course he is. But when he sees Savannah Bow go past dogs, the Hammond dog go past dogs, I weren't seeing that with Lataria. So I was banking on him leading. And when he didn't, there you go. I think Saturday, Mickey's Hammond could play a part in this as well. I think he held John Mullins' dog up on Saturday by that. He had a super break on Saturday. And it probably cost John and his dog a chance to lead and turning really handy around the first bend. If he does that, it could put prey to the sixth. I was with Kevin last night in the restaurant, long after you lot had gone, just me and him. And he's convinced 2 will turn right, 2 and 4 can go to the bend together. Might squeeze a 3 and we can just nip round. It's not pie in the sky. This is a seriously fast young dog he's got on his hands here. I personally think if I'm looking from an outside and just looking at the form and the videos, I'd go with Dave's. I think Magico's, I think he could lead. If he leads, I don't think anything will catch him. I think if he turns second to Kildare, which there's all chance he could, I think he'd catch him. But we've had a clean run derby. There's not been a lot of hard luck stories in terms of a lot of bumping and crowding. You get, obviously all the races we've had, you'll get a few. But there's nothing that really stands out and I think, God, this is a really rough derby. And I think it could play into the hands of Hammond, who I think it was Joe or Ryan I was with on the first round. That's the one that caught my eye. I always look for dogs off second to third, what they do, the pace. I look at a dog and class a dog, what he does off the second to the third bend at any track. and he showed a lot of pace. He's a very fast dog. I hope Kevin's wins. I also hope Davies wins. But like I said to them all yesterday, I want a clean run race, no excuses, and may the best dog win. I think it probably will be Magico though.
Okay, well, we're 3 all for Hello Hammond and Romeo Magico at the moment. Before we come to Ian, I'm just going to give my thoughts, which is that my betting account says I want Kildare to win, but my heart says Mickey's Barrett. I find it impossible to tip in these races, and you guys know far better than me. Our next panellist does come with a warning. If you want to leave the Zoom or switch off, if you're offended by smugness, the warning is there. Ian Fortune, 4 Irish finalists. Are you actually going to win it this year?
It's pretty fitting you leave the final word to an Irishman. Hopefully that'll be the similar scenario on Saturday evening at Toaster. I'm going over. I'm really looking forward to it. First time actually racing at Toaster. I've been there on a couple of occasions, and the 2 or 3 times that I was there we were recording previews, and you could just sense that it was the perfect venue to hold an occasion like this. And I can't wait to be there. After the last 2 or 3 years, I didn't get to sample it in Shelbourne Park. You're up in the commentary box. I'm going to sample it on Saturday night. And I tell you something, if you see me after 10 o'clock, probably best to avoid me because I'll be in the height of it. But no, really looking forward to it. I think there's claims can be made for each and every dog in the race, with the exception, the one dog, I think Mickey's Barrett should be the outsider of the party because of the draw. I think out in 5, I just can't see how he's going to lead the likes of Kildare, Romeo Magico, and even if he does happen to take a flyer, he's still going to struggle to hold him into the corner. But I can definitely see a situation where Savannah Bow can go very close if Kildare and Romeo Magico bump even slightly into the corner on the bend, and Hello Hammond arrives in there. Hello Hammond, there's no guarantee he'll stay straight. He could run off, carry dogs. He's just a big sort of galloping, tall, leggy, awkward sort of a greyhound. Absolutely fully genuine. I'm not saying awkward in the derogatory sense, but I could see there could be traffic, and all of a sudden Savannah Bow could enter the back straight 2nd or 3rd, and then all of a sudden you have a race in your hands. I think he's strongly priced at 20. I wouldn't have him any bigger than 10 or 12. I'd have Mickey's Barrett 20-25. I think Lofty was right about Hello Hammond in the sense where everyone else was going 8s before the draw. They were going 5. I thought that was pretty much on the money. I thought Hello Hammond is going to be a big player. But when it comes down to it in a race of this nature, given the fact that I have to put it down in writing and make my reasons, I'll end up going with Trap 2 Kildare. I was surprised that the money came from Magico after the draw, considering he's on the outside of Kildare. I thought whichever was going to be drawn on the inside of the other would be favoured. I thought if Magico was in 2, I thought he'd be 6-4. I think Kildare should be a 7-4 chance because he has blistering early speed when he comes away on terms. The problem is he's not a natural starter. The same could be said for Romeo Magico, but his 2 best starts since he came to Toaster this year, these traps have both come from Trap 4. He did 4.13 in the quarterfinal. He did a 4.16 from Trap 4 in his trial stake. He hasn't broken 4.20 in any other evening. So when he's back in Trap 4, you have to show him the height of respect. Exceptionally fast greyhound. I don't think personally he'll outpace Kildare down the back straight, but he could certainly out-trap him. And if he does out-trap him, he'll go around in front. But I'll just about side with Kildare. But I have Romeo Magico back to anti-post. He's my only anti-post ticket left. He was one of my 4 choices prior to the competition. I've already backed Hello Hammond at 8. And you can be absolutely certain I'm going to have a couple of quid in Savannah Bow at 20. I'll probably leave Kildare alone, and if he wins, he wins. But I'm going to go for Kildare to win.
Okay, I agree with you, actually. I thought whoever got drawn inside between Magico and Kildare would have been favourite. That's what I thought. But
yeah, so did I, yeah.
Paul Lawrence, you've been doing Derby Lanes for Racing Post TV. You said that, every dog's got his box. I know before the draw, Kevin Boothby didn't want Trap 1. But has it worked out that we're going to get enough of a clean race? Again, Hello Hammond, sort of described as a bit gangly and awkward in racing, and he's right in the middle of the pack. But do you think it'll be clean?
I'm hoping it will be. And to be fair, Julie, as I say, they've got their boxes. It's spooky. It's so spooky how myself and Ian kind of think, and I've just literally sent over the paper. I haven't recorded it yet for Derby Lanes, but I actually tipped Kildare and make Hello Hammond the danger. So that. My head says that Kildare will lead this race. As much as I respect Romeo Magico, I don't think there's too much to go between them. I think they could race the bend, and something that Tom Francis, who I've been working with recently, has done some sectionals to the first bend. And although it might only be 2 spots, that 2 spots when they get to the first bend, all of a sudden the head becomes a length and a quarter, because when you get a dog to race the bend, they find so much time, and Kildare could be away and gone from the pack. And then it's really what Hello Hammond does. Where does he get the run? What will he do with Magico next to him, or Mickey's Barrett next to him, say? It's whether he can just race those bends. And if he comes out that second turn, just behind him, he'll reel in Kildare. There's no danger to that. It's just, in my eyes, how far either Kildare or Romeo Magico will get away. Now, you know, I'm not disrespecting Price's Jet because he's a track record holder, and he got held up by Make Noise last week. But again, he's still got Mickey's Barrett to clear. He's still got Romeo Magico to clear, and Kildare. He's got a lot of traffic to clear, and Price's Jet, as Ian will tell you, cuts the bend. So he's got to get everything right, and I can't see how he could bingo completely clear of them. But anything can happen tonight, and a lot of people have said throughout this there could be any scenario of a win. And again, I agree with Ian in that Savannah Bow is no hopeless forlorn chance, because when Hello Hammond's kind of doing his little wobbly around the bench, he could cause a lot of traffic. I think Mickey's Barrett is the one dog that will struggle to clear them. Again, I mentioned Price's Jet will struggle to clear them. So I think, yeah, it could be any scenario, any scenario. It is wide open, but I do agree that Kildare should be favourite.
That's the fascination where, sorry, Julie, where normally, or some finals in the past, we've gone, well, if this dog leads, this dog will win. If Kildare leads this week, there's no guarantee that he is going to win, because there's plenty of strong running types in the race where they can come and reel him in. Will Magico go past him if they turn level with each other? Then you don't know. It's the most wide open final I can remember for a long time. It really is. It really is fascinating, and the whole competition's been fascinating. It's been fantastic.
I mean, look at the lead Kildare had in the semi-final, and he's scrambled home, hasn't he, Joe? In the end, he's got home by half a length. You know, they've made up a lot of ground, so it's not guaranteed, as you say.
No.
I think the third bend could be the deciding factor in the race, in a sense where, you know, you'll have Savannah Bow and Hello Hammond absolutely hammering at that point. But Romeo Magico and Price's Jet, they're not even Mickey's Barrett, they're not greyhounds that'll be easing up if they're not in front. Like, they will be still going absolute full leather at that point. Price's Jet tends not to stay wide at the third bend. So it could get a bit squeezy if you are looking for one at the back to come around the outside. That's where he's going to have to do it, because he's not going to get through on the inside. It's going to have to be around the outside. So even if you get around that corner and we get a clean run around that corner, the race is far from over, because the third bend could still have a big saying in this contest.
Well, you only have to look at what Savannah Bow did. Was it in the quarterfinals, Joe, where he was 4 or 5 lengths behind off the last bend and he got up in that three-way almost dead heat? You know, and Lataria was in front of him that night. You know, he's reeled him in. He's given him 4 lengths off the last bend and reeled him in. You know, that's massive. You know, in 20-1, I agree with you. In that me and Kevin were talking yesterday. I wouldn't have him any bigger than 10s. Any bigger than 10s. I think Mickey Barrett, I agree with you. I think he should be the outside. But
again, I know Kevin weren't happy with his draw. For a dog like Savannah Bow, the draw really doesn't really come into play, because he is what he is. He's going to be, if he comes out of trap 3, 4, 2, whatever, he's going to turn last unless there's plenty of trouble on his outside where then maybe he might turn 3rd or 4th. So I think the draw has worked out perfectly for all 6 dogs.
Kevin, I thought the draw was so much better from trap 1 that he's got. So every chance he gets trap 3 or 4, he could ping out of trap 3 or 4. And you know, if he pinged, he's going to get absolutely swamped to the corner and probably find himself in trouble. So I said to Kev, when he got trap 1 in his semi-final draw, I would look to him and gave him a little knowing nod, like, you know, trap 1's ideal for him. I mean, like, I'd have certainly, if I owned him myself, I'd have been crying out to get trap 1, and he's got it. So
100%.
I mentioned before the semi-final, before the draw, I said to Kev, you want one? Now, again, like Joe said, when dogs, he isn't blessed with early pace, but being in 1, it's like a comfort blanket. You're not stuck out in the middle where you're guaranteed to hit any trouble if there's anything in front of you. Okay. 1, you've got half a chance where you can just miss it.
And actually, last week, Mick, he got a little bit knocked into the first turn, and he actually I think Kevin mentioned this as well. He almost got unbalanced by just glancing off the inside running rail at the first turn. And you know, for a big dog like that can't really help him necessarily. But he's still got that wherewithal. He ran at the 3rd turn behind Sign It Goofy, lost his momentum, and then he came again. So he has got gears, and that's the beauty of him. And he's a young dog.
I watched the video closely last night from the first bend, and when he's took the whack at the bend, he's jinked in and then he's jinked out again immediately. Then he's kind of gone back in again around the bend. I didn't notice it when I first watched it. I was away over the weekend. So when I watched it closely last night, he's took the whack at the bend. He's then kind of moved himself in, and straight away he's kind of straightened up and gone out again. Then he's moved himself, darted back in off the second stride basically to move back in. And, you know, he'd qualified from the second bend. When he's turned there, it was all over. He was through. He tried to mess it up behind side of Goofy, but he managed to qualify. And yeah, I can't wait. And Ian, I'll see you at 10 o'clock and we'll have a good time.
10 o'clock. I think you guys will be seeing each other probably at 5 in the morning. I will be well home by then. But listen, unbelievable how much time you guys have spent talking about the outside of the field. I think that tells us how open it is. And ultimately, we've got 3 votes for Romeo Magico then, 2 for Hello Hammond and 2 for Kildare, taking into account Paul Lawrence's. Guys, like the analysis is brilliant. I'm really looking forward to this race. It's intriguing. It's far more open than the betting says. Lofty, you better go and change some of those prices, I think, judged on this.
Oh, well, I'm working now. I'm going to do it. At the desk as we speak. So.
Hey, Lofty, I read your price out to Kevin last night about, I don't know, 8 o'clock, 8:30. He nearly fell off his chair.
You don't enough one of the hundreds, Mick. You don't need that. I did say to him yesterday, you're going to have a press up, Kevin. Sure, he's like, I don't know, I might do like that.
He doesn't need any more money on it. Anyway, listen, thank you so much all for joining us, and very much appreciated. Enjoy the final, and hope you will come away winners.
Thank you, Julie.
Good weekend, everyone.
Thank you, Julie.
Good luck, boys.
Best luck to all.